If you're over 60 and you've noticed that your blood sugar is sometimes higher first thing in the morning, even though you haven't eaten anything all night, you may have wondered, why is this happening? For many people, the answer is not simply what they ate the night before. During the early morning hours, the body naturally releases hormones that tell the liver to send a little extra glucose into the bloodstream. This is meant to give you energy to wake up and start your day. But when insulin sensitivity is not as strong as it used to be, that extra glucose can stay in the blood longer. That is why some people wake up with a higher reading even after being careful with dinner. Now, food cannot completely control this process. But the way you build your evening meals can make a real difference in how steadily your body handles glucose. And some old-fashioned root vegetables can actually be very useful here. Today, I want to show you 5 traditional root vegetables that can fit beautifully into a blood sugar-conscious diet after 60. I'll also show you simple ways to cook them, because knowing that a food is healthy is not enough. You need to know how to actually put it on your plate. The 5 vegetables are turnips, carrots, rutabaga, Jerusalem artichokes, and sweet potatoes. Let's start with one of the most useful. 1. Turnips. Turnips don't get much attention anymore, but they used to be a very common food. And if you're trying to cut back on large servings of potatoes, turnips can be surprisingly helpful. They are lighter in carbohydrates than regular potatoes and still give you that soft, comforting texture when boiled or mashed. They also provide fiber, vitamin C, potassium, and a good amount of water, which makes them filling without being overly heavy. The easiest way to use turnips is to simply replace part of your potato serving with them. You don't have to give up potatoes completely. Even replacing half of your mashed potatoes with turnips can make the meal lighter. Simple turnip mash. Peel 2 medium turnips and cut them into small pieces. Boil them until they are soft enough to mash. Drain them very well, because turnips hold more water than potatoes. Then mash them with 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil, a little black pepper, and some garlic or parsley. That's it. You can serve about half a cup alongside grilled fish, chicken, eggs, or lentils, with plenty of green vegetables on the side. It feels like comfort food without turning the entire meal into a big plate of starch. 2. Carrots. Carrots are another food people sometimes avoid because they taste sweet. But naturally sweet does not automatically mean bad for blood sugar. A whole carrot still contains fiber and water, and you usually eat it much more slowly than something like juice or a refined snack. That difference matters. Eating 1 cooked carrot with a balanced meal is completely different from drinking a large glass of carrot juice made from several carrots. When you eat the whole vegetable, you keep the fiber. Carrots are also rich in beta-carotene, which the body can convert into vitamin A. So rather than being afraid of carrots, the better approach is to eat them in a sensible portion and combine them with protein and healthy fat. Warm carrot and yogurt bowl. Take 1 medium carrot and slice it thinly. Steam or boil it until it is tender but still has a little texture. Let it cool for a minute, then add 2 tablespoons of plain unsweetened yogurt. Sprinkle in some black pepper and a little cumin. If you like, add 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. This makes a simple side dish that works well with eggs, chicken, fish, lentils, or beans. The important thing is not to turn carrots into a sugary dish. No honey, no syrup, no sweetened yogurt. Let the carrot's natural sweetness do the work. 3. Rutabaga. Rutabaga is one of those vegetables many people have seen but never really known what to do with. It looks a little like a large turnip and has a mild, slightly sweet flavor. For older adults who love mashed potatoes but want to reduce how much potato they eat, rutabaga can be a very practical option. You don't need to make a completely unfamiliar meal. Just mix it with the foods you already know. Half potato, half rutabaga mash. Take 1 small potato and roughly the same amount of rutabaga. Peel both, cut them into cubes, and boil them together until soft. Drain them well. Mash them with 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. You can add pepper, garlic, parsley, or a spoonful of plain yogurt. Now you still have the familiar taste and texture of mashed potato, but you have used much less potato overall. That is the kind of change people can actually stick with. And long-term habits matter far more than following an extreme diet for 3 days and then giving up. 4. Jerusalem artichoke. Jerusalem artichoke is probably the least familiar vegetable on this list. It is also called a sunchoke. Despite the name, it is not really an artichoke. What makes it interesting is that it contains a type of fiber called inulin. Inulin is different from regular starch because your body does not break it down into glucose in exactly the same way. Instead, much of it reaches the large intestine, where gut bacteria ferment it. That is one reason it has become interesting in research around gut health and metabolism. But there is one thing I want you to know before you eat a big plate of it. Jerusalem artichokes can cause gas or bloating in some people, especially if you are not used to foods that are high in inulin. So start small. Simple roasted Jerusalem artichoke. Wash the Jerusalem artichokes well and cut them into small pieces. You can leave the skin on if it is clean. For your first serving, use about half a cup. Add 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil, a little rosemary, black pepper, and garlic. Roast until tender and lightly golden. Serve it with protein and a big portion of non-starchy vegetables. If your digestion handles it well, you can include it again another day. There is no need to eat a huge amount to get the benefit of adding more fiber to your diet. 5. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are nutritious, but this is where portion size becomes very important. People sometimes hear that sweet potatoes are healthier than white potatoes and then assume they can eat as much as they like. That is not really how it works. Sweet potatoes still contain a good amount of carbohydrate, but they also provide fiber, potassium, vitamin C, and beta-carotene, especially the orange varieties. So you do not need to avoid them. You simply need to treat them as the carbohydrate part of your meal. Simple sweet potato dinner bowl. Take about half of a small sweet potato. Cut it into chunks and boil it until just tender. Add it to a bowl with plenty of spinach, cabbage, broccoli, or another non-starchy vegetable. Then add your protein. That could be 1 or 2 eggs, grilled chicken, fish, tofu, beans, or lentils. Finish with 1 teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil and a little black pepper. Now compare that meal with a giant baked sweet potato covered in butter, sugar, or sweet sauce. Same vegetable. Completely different meal. And that is why preparation matters so much. The easiest way to build your dinner plate. You don't need to memorize complicated nutrition rules. Keep it simple. Try to make about half of your plate non-starchy vegetables such as spinach, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, green beans, zucchini, cucumber, or salad. Then add a good source of protein. Fish, eggs, chicken, tofu, yogurt, beans, or lentils can all work. After that, add a modest portion of 1 root vegetable. Maybe turnip mash tonight. A little sweet potato tomorrow. Rutabaga another evening. Then add a small amount of healthy fat, such as extra virgin olive oil, nuts, seeds, or avocado. That kind of plate is usually much easier on blood sugar than a dinner built mostly around rice, bread, potatoes, or noodles. What you eat at night can matter. If your morning blood sugar is your biggest concern, it is worth paying attention to your evening routine. A very large meal late at night can keep glucose elevated for hours. And then, just as your body starts releasing more glucose toward morning, your blood sugar may rise even further. You do not need to go to bed hungry. The goal is simply to avoid making dinner your heaviest, most carbohydrate-loaded meal of the day. If possible, give your body a little time between dinner and sleep. A small walk can help too. Another simple habit is movement after dinner. If your health allows it, try walking gently for 10 or 15 minutes after your evening meal. It does not need to be intense exercise. You can walk outside, around the house, or even move around indoors. Your muscles use glucose when they work, so regular movement after meals can support better glucose handling. That small habit, done consistently, may be more useful than people realize. Don't ruin a healthy vegetable with the rest of the meal. This is another important point. You can choose a healthy root vegetable and still end up with a very heavy meal. A small boiled sweet potato with fish and vegetables is one thing. Sweet potato covered in sugar and eaten with bread and dessert is something completely different. Turnip mash with olive oil is one thing. Turnips swimming in cream and butter alongside a large serving of rice are another. Carrots are fine. A big glass of sweetened carrot juice is not the same thing. So always think about the whole plate, not just one ingredient. Which one should you try first? If potatoes are a regular part of your dinner, start with turnips or rutabaga. They are probably the easiest swap. If you enjoy a little natural sweetness, try carrots. If sweet potatoes are already part of your diet, keep them, but make the portions smaller and pair them with protein and vegetables. And if you can find Jerusalem artichokes, try a small amount and see how your digestion responds. You do not need to eat all 5 vegetables every day. In fact, variety is better. Rotate them. Use different vegetables through the week. The goal is not to find one magical vegetable. The goal is to build meals your body can handle more comfortably. One important note. If you take insulin or medication that lowers blood sugar, be careful about suddenly making major changes to your carbohydrate intake. Your medication may have been prescribed based on the way you normally eat. If you dramatically cut carbohydrates without adjusting medication, blood sugar can sometimes fall too low. And if your fasting glucose stays high again and again, speak with your healthcare professional. Food can support blood sugar management, but it should not replace proper diabetes care. Final thought. After 60, managing blood sugar does not have to mean eating bland food or living on salads. Sometimes it simply means bringing back foods that people have eaten for generations and using them more smartly. Turnips instead of a mountain of potatoes. A small sweet potato instead of an oversized one. Whole carrots instead of juice. A little rutabaga mixed into your mash. And plenty of protein and green vegetables alongside them. These are small changes. But when you repeat small changes every day, they become powerful habits. And that is usually where better health begins.